Today, I'm going to share 4 things that our LiveInnerCity real estate team saw in October for Calgary real estate. I'm going to go over the following things. Number 1, Calgary townhouses and condos were on fire. 2, Calgary homebuyers, they are experiencing buyer fatigue. What is it and why is that important? Number 3, I'm going to go through some seller tips. And it's not just about, understanding the data, but how to interpret the data to maximize your price and reduce your time on the market. I'm also gonna go through some examples. And the 4th are some buyer tips. Crappy condos are selling in this market. You have to be aware of the potential issues that could come up. And this can really save yourself from, buying a condo that just isn't great. And a bonus tip for you is I'm going to talk about how to predict mortgage rates. Yes, you can do that. And I'm going to have that tip at the end of this video, so stick around for that. After that, I'm going to talk about the pricing for each property type and how long it's going to take to sell if you are selling your home in this market. Before we get started, I just want to ask you guys if you have any questions or if there's any information you want us to cover. I read all of the comments and we keep track of it. So if you're curious about something, throw it in the comments below. Okay, number 1, Calgary townhomes and condos were on fire. Now, this is what you can expect if you're in that market to buy. You can expect that you're probably going to be competing with other buyers. And if the property is listed reasonably at market value, then I would expect to be paying in and around list price, if not a little bit more. Now, in this market, I believe it is okay to pay a little bit more because the market is trending up, okay? And real estate goes up over time. So if you're holding it for say 2 years, then it's not probably gonna be the best idea to buy. However, if this is gonna be a 5, 7, 8 year plan, I believe that over that period of time, the Calgary real estate market is going to do very well, meaning prices will go up given the interprovincial and international migration to Calgary. Second, home buyers are feeling buyer fatigue. What is buyer fatigue? Well, when you're a buyer and you're going on showings and you're seeing multiple properties and you're writing offers after offer because you got outbidded or the seller accepted a better offer, that creates buyer fatigue. People are just tired. It takes the enjoyment out of the home buying process and they just want to get the process over. If that is you, I want to assure you that you're not the only one. Yes, it is a little bit challenging right now as a buyer to buy properties, especially condos and townhomes. But just remember, keep your mind on the bigger picture, which is you're buying a home for yourself or for your family. And this short-term pain will be worth it because over time, real estate in Calgary, I believe it's going to be going up. So I get what you guys are going through. And I just want to say, don't give up, stick with it, because I can promise you, you will be happy you bought something versus waiting 6, 12, 24 months down the road and prices will be higher than they are today. Number 3, seller tips. Now, as a seller, it's important for you to get market data, but it's not just the data that's important. It's about understanding and interpreting that data so that you can maximize your sale price and reduce the days on market. So as an example, we had a townhome that we listed in a very good community and we knew about the last sale that happened. Now we knew the agent, so we got a lot of the information from there and we took that information to really determine the pricing strategy and how we were gonna position ourselves in the market. What we knew was there wasn't a lot of townhomes popping up in this area for sale at all. For the last sale, there was tons of showings and they had multiple offers. And so understanding that and knowing what's going on in the community for that specific property type, we listed a little bit higher. And as a result, we got more than 13 showings, had multiple offers, and we got really close to list price. So make sure you work with someone that isn't just pulling data that's relevant to you, but also explaining how that data can be used to benefit you as the seller. to come out on top. Another thing we noticed was homes over 1.1 million are dropping their price. As an example, we have clients located in Hamptons, and we are seeing $50,000, $60,000 price drops. So if you're a seller in that price range, be very conscious that that market is starting to soften up a little bit, and it will trickle down into other property types. So make sure that you price it reasonably, because you don't want to be chasing the market. You want to be selling it at market. And if you own a condo, nicer buildings, especially downtown in the Beltline, they are selling quicker. So if you've been thinking about putting your condo up for sale and it's been built in the last 5 to 10 years, now may be a really good time to revisit that. And as you'll see by the pricing and the demand for condos, the statistics show now is your time to shine. Okay, the fourth thing are buyer tips. Now, in this market, because the condo market is very strong, crappy condos are selling too, but you have to be careful of them, okay? So as an example, we had a buyer who was looking in and around Chinatown, and this building was a post-tension cable building. What a post-tension cable building is, and this is more prevalent in buildings in the 70s and 80s, is to have an open floor plan. They run these cables in these tubes in between the floors, and they put tension on them to strain it out so that the floor can have more stability. And so what happens over time is that if air or water leaks into these cables, it compromises the structural integrity of them. And once they start rusting, you have to replace them. In this specific building, back in 2005, so almost 20 years ago, they found out that they had 2 compromised cables, but they decided to do nothing about it. And so they kicked the can down the road, and fast forward to today, they now have to hire engineers to look and assess the issue, and they had to do a special assessment for that. Once that's done, chances are there's going to be another special assessment to actually fix the compromised post-tension cables. This can be very costly, and it goes to show that your property management company has to do a very good job. They have to be proactive. So they just kick the can down the road and they're like, we'll deal with it later, and now they're paying the price for that. So you have to read the condo documents very carefully, and I can't stress enough, never buy a condo without looking at the condo documents. Okay guys, don't forget my tip on how to predict mortgage rate is coming up right after this. So pricing for each property type, I'm gonna start with detached homes. So for detached homes, benchmark prices pretty much stayed the same. So in August, it was $690,000, September $696,000, and October $697,000. This is a monthly graph of Calgary detached homes from October of last year until October of this year. Now the red line is the benchmark price. So over the last 3 months, pricing has stayed virtually the same. The question is this our correction? Will detached home pricing start declining? In the last market update, I said that we may flatten out as the correction before it gets turned right up, assuming there's huge demand in the coming months. If you own a detached home in Calgary and you're interested in selling it, then it's gonna take about 27 days to sell. It is a little bit higher compared to the last 3 months, and here they are. In August, it was 24 days on the market, September was 25, and this month was 27, which did edge up a little bit. Calgary semi-detached home prices are on an uptrend. We edged up slightly higher, but it is quite similar to the last few months in the 620s. So in August, benchmark pricing was $623,000, September $621,000, and October $628,000. Now since May, it's been floating around $600,000 to $630,000. If you want to see a chart because you're a visual person, check out this graph right here. Here's the monthly representation of Calgary semi-detached homes from October of last year to October of this year. You can see that we are on an uptrend. And the last few months, we've been kind of trickling between 610 and 630. You can see though, by the green bar line, that we are at higher sales numbers than the same time last year, but the sales have been decreasing every single month since May. If you owned a semi-detached home in Calgary and you were interested in selling it, then it would take about 25 days to sell. In August, it was 22 days on the market. September was 26, and this month is 25. Calgary Townhomes made record high prices this year in October. In fact, every single month this year has broken records, and pricing just keeps going up. So in August, it was 413,000, September 419, and October 425. Looking at the red line, which represents benchmark pricing, it doesn't look like it's moved a lot. But in January of this year, pricing started at 356,000. Today is 425, which is a $69,000 increase year to date. Sales, which is the green bar, are elevated compared to a year ago, so demand is stronger, but sales for Calgary townhomes have been decreasing every month since June. If you owned a townhome in Calgary and you were interested in selling it, it's going to take you 23 days to sell. In August, it was 20 days on the market. In September, it's 21, and October, 23. Hopefully, this has been helpful for you guys so far. If so, please let me know by typing helpful in the comments. This really helps us determine what we talk about in our monthly real estate market updates. And again, the tips for predicting mortgage rates is coming right up after this. So Calgary apartments hit a record high for pricing this year in October, and just like townhomes, have been reaching a record every single month this year. So in August, the benchmark price was 309,000, September 312, and October 316. Going back to January of this year, which was the lowest so far, by the way, it was at $273,000. So compared to today at 316, that's a difference of $43,000. Here's the monthly graph of October last year to this year. And as you can see, this is going to the moon. It's probably actually going to go to Mars. You'll probably see Elon Musk there and the first Earthlings who decide to inhabit there. But this makes sense from a lower price point for Calgary real estate. People who can't afford townhomes, maybe they're now settling for apartments in Calgary. If you owned an apartment in Calgary and you were interested in selling, it's going to take you about 29 days to sell. In August, it was 30 days on the market. September was 28, so it went lower. And October was 29, so one extra day. How to predict mortgage interest rates. Okay, here's a secret sauce that not a lot of people know about. Fixed rates in Canada are closely correlated to the Canadian bond yields. So if you want to know where the 5-year fixed rate is going, then you want to look at the 5-year Canadian bond yields. If you want to know where the 3-year fixed rates are going, then look at the 3-year Canadian bond yields. Let me pull up this graph. I'm going to hit max on the chart, so it takes us back all the way to 1986. You can see where we are today, and the last time rates were this high was back in 2007. Going back to the 5-year chart, you can see in 2020, it was the lowest it's ever been. But since then, rates have been on a tear. Okay, I'm gonna leave a link to this chart in the description below. But remember though, this is a 5-year bond yield, okay? So if you're looking at the 3-year fixed, which a lot of people are getting these days, then make sure you look at the 3-year Canadian bond yield. Was this helpful, guys? If so, we would love your support if you just took 2 seconds and hit the like button on this video. And feel free to subscribe if you found this content helpful and you want more content like this in the future. My name is Felix Chan, Calgary Realtor and Mortgage Broker with Real Broker, and we'll see you in the next video.